Frankie Muniz is going to be running in Joey Gase's car here at Daytona. He's also going to run a partial schedule for the team in 2024, as he just announced. Joe, I know we kept an eye on him very closely last year in the ARCA Menard Series. A lot of people did. You had outlets like People Magazine and TMZ talking about ARCA. Whoever would have thought that that would be the case? But Frankie Muniz brought a lot of eyes to the ARCA Menard Series last year. Now, I'm sure we'll do the same when he runs Xfinity. But are you surprised that he has made this jump so quickly in his stock car career?
I am surprised. I mean, last year, my expectations were not that high for him, to be honest. But he sort of made me a believer, like, okay, he's really taking this seriously. He's not just getting in the car and then, oh, that wasn't fun. I don't know. No, he seems fully into it. So, of course, next move would be try to get up to Xfinity level. Without the wins, though, it is something I do question, like, okay, he could get the sponsorships to make it work. He could get the ride. It's going to be how he's going to perform. Now, he has run at Daytona before in an ARCA car. He's done Talladega. So he's not just coming into the super speedway blind, but we're talking a different field of drivers that some of them have come from the trucks and worked their way up. Some of them from ARCA worked their way up. Driver development deals for Cup Series teams. It's a whole different ball game. This is not going to be the same level of competition. I think it's going to be a little bit more fierce. Competition is going to be more aggressive throughout the races. You're going to have those stage breaks too, which that second stage could sometimes be just as chaotic as the third stage, especially towards the end when you got more playoff points. I think he's going to have a handful, but I think really, depending on how he performs behind the car, that's really when I'm going to be able to say, did he make the move too quickly? Because if he makes what we would call a rookie mistake, okay, even then, he made a rookie year at the ARCA Series, a rookie mistake in the Xfinity level. I think it's forgivable. If he comes home with a solid race, we'll be praising like what a wonderful job he did. He's really taking this to the next level. But don't rush it. Maybe come back at Talladega or maybe a speedway like Michigan where the ARCA Series did run. But I wouldn't just throw him in at a track like, say, Dover or Bristol, where it's really going to be amped up. So Daytona was the appropriate one. Is he making this move a little too quickly? For my taking, I'm saying yes, but if you can have a solid day, just then don't rush into it. And I think he'll be set. But overall, it's going to be really interesting what Frankie does and the media attention that's going to follow for the Xfinity Series.
Joe, I think about Frankie and I think about his age, being 38. And I know that he knows that, it's not like he's a early 20-year-old coming into this series like a lot of young drivers are, maybe even a little bit younger than that in some cases. So I think it's in some ways understandable that he recognizes that he has to take these opportunities when he's given them, because, the reality is he's not going to have as many years ahead of him as another Xfinity Series rookie might, given where he is at this stage in his life and in his career. But I do agree with you that, generally speaking, if you look at an ARCA resume and you see one full-time season with one top five, I know that, Brett Jones isn't necessarily a Venturini car, but it's still, solid equipment that can give you a good run here and there. One top five and one full-time ARCA season, I don't know that in most cases we'd be saying that that's a driver necessarily ready for the Xfinity Series jump. Now, obviously, Frankie brings a celebrity status that very few other drivers in this race are going to be able to bring. I think his success is going to be the Xfinity Series success or NASCAR's success in many respects with how he might be able to run. But I think it's entirely unreasonable to expect him to be up front contending for wins, especially, and again, no disrespect to Joey Gase or his team, but, it's not like he's getting in a Stewart Haas proper Ford factory support car of that level. So I think that expectations should probably be tempered quite a bit. But, again, you're not going to find anybody who is more passionate, who's more driven, who's more determined to make this work and make this succeed than you are in Frankie Muniz. So when you look at it from that perspective, I think that, he certainly has an opportunity to surprise some people. But I just don't know that we should be expecting him to be a front runner or contender, at least not any time in the start of the year. And again, we'll see what his schedule looks like and how many races he's set to run. But it's going to be interesting to follow nonetheless.
Yeah, and one of the things too I mentioned about like the rookie mistakes, as long as he doesn't make a mistake like Kevin LePage in Talladega when he came up from pit road in front of the field and cause that huge one, that really, essentially tarnished Kevin LePage's reputation and the spotter and everybody. If he doesn't make a mistake like that, like if he makes a mistake where bump draft in the tri-oval, spin out somebody himself, that's something where it's like, okay, you're a rookie, you're still learning the car, the competition level has gone up. That's something forgivable. But if something like what happened with Kevin LePage is just something where we're just all on Monday on Encore talking about, could you believe this occurred? That would be a big setback. So overall, I think you hit on the head that we shouldn't be expecting him to go out there in the top 10. If of all the drivers we talked about, if he finishes in the top 20, that's huge. If he completes all the laps, bring the car home in one piece, wonderful job. But don't go out there, make a boneheaded mistake where then people are going to be saying, well, he's not ready, because that could be a huge setback to your racing career.